everyone, at least from my side. Good morning out of Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar. Today's focus is the biopharmaceutical market, looking at R&D, production and market access in Germany. I'm Omar Oweiss, Director of Investor Consulting at Germany Trade and Invest in Washington, D.C. So it is morning for me, but I know we have folks dialed in from Germany, from France, from the UK, as well as Canada and the US. So thank you for joining us. Real quick, if you're joining us for the first time, Germany Trade and Invest is the economic development agency of Germany. We do a lot of different things, including this webinar series, but our main goal, of course, is to promote Germany as a business and technology location in order to create and secure jobs. We promote the different states in Germany as well as the new federal states. We also assist the German economy with market information, and we have an extensive portfolio of consultancy services for international investors that look a little bit like this. You'll typically want information about the market and industry. We can help you and assist you with market entry. You typically have questions on tax and legal, as well as funding and financing in Germany. We can try to find the right partners for you, and last but not least, assist with the hopefully the final step of the appropriate site in Germany. The beauty is all these publications and our services, as well as these webinars, and anything we do really for you is free of charge. We're funded by the German government, and we're really here to assist you in finding the suitable location in Germany. You've joined the webinar series, our healthcare webinar series, and this is the third and final webinar of the year. You can see we've also, this is the top of my slide here, we've also touched on mHealth this year, as well as the regulatory update for medical device manufacturers, the ongoing revision. It is 3 years young, this series. We started in 2014, and just a couple of highlights here at the bottom of my screen. We've looked at digital healthcare, the aging society, as well as the hospital market, and also some bioregions in Germany. We try to keep it interesting and diverse and relevant to your needs. Today's lineup of speakers, I'm blessed to have three lovely ladies join me today, and from different corners of Germany. We have Dr. Sabine Sydow from VFA Bio in Berlin. We have Ms. Maren Freiberg from QuintilesIMS in Frankfurt, as well as Dr. Sandra Bütow from Germany Trade and Invest, our headquarters in Berlin as well. Throughout the course, well, the format will be three presentations from the three speakers I just highlighted, and you can post questions at the end. You can post questions throughout the session. You will not interrupt them. We'll have a Q&A session at the end. Again, it's a chat feature on your right-hand side in your toolbar. I encourage you to post those questions. I will see them, and we'll post them at the very end and have an open forum discussion with the speakers. Without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Sabine Sydow, head of VFA Bio, which is the German Association of research-based pharmaceutical companies in Germany, in Berlin, Germany specifically, and her talk will be, or her presentation will be on medical biotechnology in Germany. Sabine, at this point, I'm handing over the rights to you, and we look forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much, Omar. I'm just trying to get to my presentation. Here we are. This is the test, and it doesn't work. I don't know why. Here, there are a lot of clicks I have to do. This should be it. So I think you should see the slides. Thank you very much, Omar, for your kind introduction and for the opportunity to present some key facts about medical biotechnology in Germany. I just start my timer. First of all, I would like to briefly introduce to you the VFA, the Association of Research-Based Pharmaceutical Companies in Germany. Our member companies, together with their subsidiaries, employ almost 80,000 people in Germany, thereof 18,000 in R&D. And our companies invest more than 5 billion euro per year in pharmaceutical research. VFA Bio is the interest group Biotechnology within the VFA, with currently 31 member companies, which include big ones as well as medium-sized and even small companies which are not yet present on the market but have research and development activities in the field of medical biotechnology. Every year, VFA Bio publishes a report regarding the situation of medical biotechnology in Germany, This year it was already our 11th report, and on this slide you see all of them, the 11 reports of the past. And this year the report was with a special focus on vaccination. If you're interested in further details, please visit our website, where the report is also available for free. However, it's in German, but the executive summary is in English. For this report, BCG, the Boston Consulting Group, thoroughly analyzes key economic figures each and every year. Some of them I'm going to present to you a little bit later in my presentation. In preparation of this webinar, I was also asked to inform you about the regulatory pathway for biopharmaceuticals in Germany. We have the very good situation that the EU's centralized authorization procedure is compulsory, among others, for biopharmaceuticals, for orphan drugs, as well as for advanced therapies. This implies that manufacturers can obtain scientific advice from the European Medicines Agency, the EMA. The dossier is assessed by 2 rapporteurs from national regulatory institutions, and there is one final approval decision for all European member states. This is probably quite comfortable for the manufacturers. This centralized authorization procedure, and this is shown, follows one side and for the manufacturers on the other side. Thus, you can calculate that after dossier submission and dossier validation, it takes 210 days until the final EMA vote, plus clock stop for questions by the EMA and answers by the manufacturers after day 120. That it takes 210 days until the final EMA vote is available, again for all European countries then. After the final approval by the European Commission, which typically occurs within 60 days, the product can be marketed in Germany and is being reimbursed by the statutory health insurance. In the first year after market launch, an early benefit assessment is being done by the Federal Joint Committee in Germany, followed by price negotiations between the manufacturers and the insurance bodies. But I think the important message is that with day 1 after market entry, the product is being reimbursed. In Germany, not in all European countries, but in Germany this is the case. The clear timelines for the approval process and the possibility for immediate market entrance and reimbursement are, from our perspective, clear signs of strength for the location Germany. Another sign of strength is shown on this slide here. Germany continues to be number 2 worldwide and number 1 in Europe regarding the production of recombinant drug substances. Here we have counted the biopharmaceutical active substances produced per country. All these substances were approved in Europe, and front runner, of course, due to the country size, this is not surprising, is the US, with 52 different biopharmaceutical drug substances being produced there, followed by Germany with 23. So this is another sign of strength, as I said a minute ago. With our 10th biotech report last year, we did a 10 years comparison, which I would like to share with you on this slide here, and I'm going to pick some details out of this slide. Biopharmaceuticals, on the upper left side, the number of biopharmaceutical marketing authorization increased by 70% to far above 200 biopharmaceuticals in total. Sales, which is shown on the right upper portion, sales with biopharmaceuticals has tripled from 2.6 to 7.5 billion euro in Germany over the last 10 years. This more or less implies that the market share of biopharmaceuticals has also grown from 12% to 20% in 2014. The pipeline, which is shown down to the left, the number of biopharmaceuticals in clinical development has more than doubled from 256 in 2005 to 604 in 2014. This increase illustrates the enormous investment the companies are continuously putting into these projects. Again, good news. Employment rate to the right corner down. Again, a very positive development. In Germany, our industry has newly created more than 11,000 positions since 2005. And these are especially high qualified positions for academics as well as for technicians. an important development for our country, another good success story as far as I can judge that. Let's now switch to the year 2015, where we had overall, as already in 2013 and 2014, a strong year regarding approvals. We had 15 biopharmaceuticals approved, more than ever before. We had no biosimilars last year, but this will change over the next years, of course. Thus, in the last 3 years, biopharmaceuticals were far above, in total, the long-time average of around 22%. In 2016, by the way, which is not yet fully over, we counted already even 17 biopharmaceutical approvals, thereof 3 biosimilars. So in absolute numbers, we will again see a record year this year, or last year, because we always look to the last year when we do the next biotech report. So 2016 will be another record year in series. Let's check the pipeline, the biopharmaceutical pipeline. We are expecting many additional new biopharmaceuticals in the future, which can be illustrated with this analysis of the biopharmaceuticals in clinical development. On the left, you can see that there was a steady increase in clinical development projects since 2005. The light blue is phase 1, medium blue phase 2, dark blue is phase 3. From 2014 to 2015, there was overall a slight growth, with a special strong increase in phase 1 candidates, where we saw plus 11% growth, which is good and healthy because research projects translated into new clinical development projects. In the middle, we sorted the projects regarding their drug substance type, and what is crystal clear here is that the main focus still is on monoclonal antibodies with an increase of 8%. And on the right-hand side, you can see that the portion of biosimilar projects has increased in the last year, whereas the majority of biopharmaceutical development projects, of course, is based on innovative approaches, which is the left column of the right part. We do see a significant growth in the area of biosimilars, plus 27%, which more or less explains the overall growth here on the very left-hand side of this slide regarding the total biopharmaceutical pipeline. Especially the growth in phase 3 is more or less due to the growth of biosimilar clinical development projects. This slide shows you some details regarding sales in 2015 in the pharmacy and hospital market. All numbers are net sales, so the mandatory rebates of currently 7% in Germany has been subtracted already. The circle on the right side shows you that sales with biopharmaceuticals in 2015 were approximately 8.2 billion euro, resulting in almost 23% of the overall pharma market, a little bit more than in 2014, where we saw 22%, which I showed you some minutes ago. In the medium part of the slide, the changes 2015 compared to 2014 are illustrated. The growth of biopharmaceuticals was 9.7%, almost double compared to the total market with 5.4%. This slide shows you that more than 2/3 of sales are in the field of immunology, oncology, followed by metabolism. So this is the main message of this slide. There are other indication areas as well, but the 3 indication fields are the dominant ones. And with this slide, I would like to end my talk summarizing what we anticipate for the medical biotechnology industry in Germany in 2025, so let's say in 10 years. Companies are investing continuously in the biopharmaceutical pipeline. The number of development candidates in the clinical pipeline will remain high, and the share of new biopharmaceutical approvals will increase to around 30 to 40%. And based on new approvals and indication extensions, of course, more patients will be treated with biopharmaceuticals in the future. Biopharmaceuticals will become established in further areas of application. There is already, and there will further be, a renaissance of vaccines, The importance of vaccines will increase also with the introduction of therapeutic vaccines. Thesis number 5 is that personalized medicine will remain a growing trend. The share of personalized or stratified biopharmaceuticals will increase significantly. Thesis number 6, new analysis concepts and therapeutic applications will continue to improve treatment options for patients. And the last and 7th thesis is that the industry is on the way from a manufacturer to a healthcare partner. This implies that not only biopharmaceuticals themselves, but also the involvement in the provision of integrated healthcare will be crucial in the future. With these 7 theses, I would like to close my presentation, and I'm happy to answer your questions in the end. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Sabine. That was a lovely detailed overview. The challenge, of course, is to keep it in 10 to 12 minutes, which you did beautifully, but it's so difficult with all that knowledge of information that you have. So thank you again. And again, yes, you can ask your questions via the chat feature. I will gather those. Ron, thank you for your question. All the presentations will be available. You can also catch them or find them later on our webinar landing pages to the bottom of my slides, gtai.com/succeed in German healthcare. Sabine, thanks again. Our next speaker is Ms. Maren Freiberg. She's Director of Business Development and Market Access at Quintiles in Frankfurt, Germany. And her presentation will look at market access in Germany, understanding the challenges and finding and seeing the chances. Maren, I'm going to hand the rights over to you at this point, and we look forward to your presentation as well.
Thank you, Omar. So a warm welcome from my side. I hope everyone can see my screen. So my name is Maren Freiberg. Oh, that's excellent. My name is Maren Freiberg, and I'm a Director of Business Development for Market Access at QuintilesIMS. And in my role, I'm supporting customers in the biopharmaceutical industry with their pre- and post-launch activities. And the goal is, of course, to ensure a successful market access launch in Germany. And today I will talk you through my presentation on market access challenges and chances. So I'm really pleased with this topic for these 2 sides of the story. So looking at the healthcare landscape in Europe and also in Germany, we see a lot of changes, and therefore our market access approaches must adapt, as they are the key to maximizing the rapid uptake of new treatments. And we listed here just a few hurdles to see what do you have to overcome for successful market access. You have to see that we have budget pressures for our healthcare systems. The healthcare systems are very complex. We see that we have global, national, and local value needs. We see more and more conditional approvals. And we see that we have the challenge of adaptation in treatment pathways. Finally, putting the patient into the center, we see that the patient needs access to new treatments, the patient needs support, and a major goal is the adherence. So our healthcare systems are interconnected. After getting regulatory approval, the next step is the so-called market access, and that means gaining access to stakeholders that are relevant in your healthcare system. When we talk about provider, we talk about physicians, nurses, hospitals, clinics, everyone who's providing healthcare. So on the left-hand side, you see the current model that's currently shifting. That means in the past time, you had to look at provider, payer, and patient one by one. And it could often be that their objectives are not aligned, sometimes even seem conflicting. And nowadays, we have a shift in approach, looking at the whole population outcomes and aiming at improving population outcomes, enhancing quality of life, while at the same time lowering healthcare costs, which is a true definition of value in a more aligned system. So to make it more tangible, a payer will think very carefully about a proposed pharmaceutical. Will I buy this drug for 100 patients, or will I spend my money, for example, for another drug which is for like 10,000 patients? So what are the overarching principles of market access? We see that there are increasing stakeholder demands, and maybe just to pick a few from this slide, we see that the payer and HTA bodies demand real-world insights. They want to see health economic evidence, comparative effectiveness, and post-authorization safety data. And this is driving their decision-making. So you see, we have higher hurdles of providing product value. We see that prescribers and healthcare professionals want faster access to clear medical and scientific data to drive evidence-based decision-making. Regulators, as well as media and government, demand adherence with all promotional codes of conduct, which also are different for different European countries. And then again, the patients, they want empowerment in their health, and they demand access to medical information, and they want to participate in decision-making and ongoing treatment. So what we also see is an increase in constraints. So we see a lot of competition, and this is leading to more specialized and complex product launches that are highly targeted, and they require facilitation of understanding and translation of medical information into practical insights and real-world medical decision-taking. Finally, again, the patient access. Austerity measures make it very challenging to convince the stakeholders about the level of the added value of the specific product to enable patient access to those medicines. So finally, the challenge is handling the complexity of building advocacy and access across multiple healthcare stakeholders. What's happening if you do not adapt your market access strategy? So what we see is a commercial and a clinical impact. It means getting market access right at a national and local level is crucial. If drugs are not approved in a timely manner, you have a decreased reimbursement window. Also, there's a potential of a mismatched local value story, which leads to limited market access for products. We often see a threat for poor uptake and adherence. That means local health economy may restrict access for specific patients. Support may not always be available for patients to achieve the full benefits and outcomes of your therapy. Another thing is that patients' care is not maximized. Is there time for the regulatory body to prepare the necessary policy and pathway for your treatment? If not, the service development is not maximized. And finally, we see there's not enough collaboration. So joint working between biopharma and the healthcare system is key to identify which treatments are going to make the most real-world impact. Maybe to make a long story short, you can see it here as a picture. Why getting market access right at first time is so essential. So basically, if you delay your market access, you will lose a lot of sales. You also lose the opportunity to gain trust and manage your payer relationships. And you lose the opportunity to recognize the sweet spot and overlap between local payer need and your commercial drivers. So how are you going to achieve a market access success? Basically, key strategies for market access success for all stages of the product life cycle can be defined in 5 steps or 5 buckets. And here again, to pick 2 out of the strategies. One crucial one is the value, identifying the unmet medical need. So we sometimes see when we work with clients, they are absolutely certain of the success of their product. They are not taking into account competitors, standard of care, or even the treatment reality of the patient. So it's really crucial to first define the unmet medical need and see where the product fits into the healthcare landscape. Another one is access. So you have to have the right drug for the right patient at the right time with the right price. So you need to understand global, national, and local stakeholders, and you need to build effective local relationships. And this is nothing that you do overnight. So also, for example, in Germany, it's not enough to get a national reimbursement status of the drug by entering and succeeding in the early benefit assessment. You will also then need to engage with local payers on subnational level to secure availability and access to your drug. So you need to ask yourself, where are you on the product life cycle? We say usually at the end of phase 2, it's a good time to think about market access activities. You are closely to starting your phase 3 trial. You can take into account other competitor treatments. You can plan your product pathway, and you can plan your steps and ensure that you are launch ready. So here, for example, depending on whether you have an inpatient or an outpatient product, your pathway will be different. So to put it in a nutshell, and I will answer questions later, the German market access is complex and it includes some challenges, but if you ensure your proper launch readiness, the German healthcare landscape offers great chances. So thank you for your attention, and I will hand over to Omar.
Thank you, Maren, as well. I'll leave your slide up for just a second in case anyone wants to contact you directly, and thank you for your presentation. Again, the speaker bios and all the presentations are available on our website, the webinar landing page at the bottom of my screen, gtai.com/succeed in German healthcare. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sandra Bütow, Senior Manager at Healthcare from Germany Trade Invest in our Berlin headquarters, and her presentation will be on how to access the life science landscape in Germany, looking at partnering and R&D availability, or partnering R&D options. Sandra, I will hand over the rights to you at this point.
Thank you.
We look forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much, Omar. I will put it on full screen. I hope you can see my screen and my presentation. Yeah, thank you very much, Omar, for the kind introduction, and also warm welcome from my side. So we heard a lot of the market for biopharmaceuticals, the regulatory and also the market access, and I would like to give you an impression what's the life science landscape and how can you benefit from partnering and research and development, and I have also some hints on the funding in Germany on the life sciences. So my first slide. Yeah, so the German life science industry consists of 3 parts. We have the biotechnology with a 6.5 billion euro annual sales. The second part is the medtech industry with 25 billion euro annual sales. And last but not least, the pharmaceutical industry with 29 billion euro annual sales. So in total, we have more than 60 billion euro for the life science industry every year, and this is made by a lot of companies. Like you can see on my slide here, we have more than 17,000 companies in the life science industry in Germany. These companies have hotspots, or we have some hotspots of life sciences in Germany. So 4 hotspots I would like to name for you. It's the Berlin and Brandenburg area. Then we have another hotspot in North Rhine-Westphalia, or NRW. Then we have Baden-Württemberg as another hotspot, and the last one, the hotspots, it's Bavaria. If we have a look on the dedicated biotechnology companies, dedicated means in this case that these companies doing only biotechnology and nothing else to say. If you have a look on these companies, you can see that they spend every year 1/3 of their sales for research and development. If we have a look on the last years, we can see that these company sales are increasing over the years, and also the R&D expenditure. This means that these companies have very good conditions in Germany to do R&D, and we know they don't do this by themselves, or they do this often not alone. They need partners for this. And I put some of the partners, the important partners, on this slide here. On the left side, you see the most important partners for these companies. These most important partners are the research institutes. This could be universities, but also non-university research institutes like Max Planck or Helmholtz or something like this. Then also other industrial partners are very important, and other biotechnology companies also. But there's another part that's important for these companies besides the partners. They need some money to do the research and development, and we have a large number of funding programs in Germany on various levels. So for Europe, you all know this funding program I put down here. It's the Horizon 2020 funding program. In addition to this, we have several funding programs from the ministries, the federal ministries in Germany. For example, there's a program called SIM. It's the Central Innovation Program for Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises. This program is especially for companies in combination with a partner, and this partner could be another company, but also research institutes. And then we also have special funding programs in the federal states. So to give you an example, there's the program for Förderung von Forschung, Innovation, Technology, so to promote the research, innovation and technology in Berlin. Yes, so you all have now one question in mind, and this question I put on this slide. You all think, how can I get access to the German life science landscape and to the partnering and to the funding? And one puzzle piece for this I put on the slide as kind of answer. So we have more than 30 specialized cluster networks in Germany focusing on the life sciences, and these cluster networks enable the access to the German life science landscape. Here you can see a map of these clusters. So we have more than 30, I told you this, and they're spread all over Germany. Some of them are regional organized, some of them are responsible for Germany as a whole. And what do? They combine the industry with the science and the politicians. They manage the assets on-site, local in most cases, and they're offering a lot of services like business development. They can help you to find funding options. They have a lot of contacts for partnering and also industry contacts. In the end, if you decide to set up in the last part of the company foundation, they can give you some help. They have events and trade fairs organized by them and a lot of information, and if you need, they also can help you with the technology transfer. If you're interested in having more information about these clusters, biotechnology clusters in Germany, please feel free to download the brochure or fact sheet in the end of my presentation. You can do this on the right side of the toolbar. You will find the download after my presentation. So you can see we have very good and strong industry in the life sciences in Germany with a lot of hotspots. We have clusters. They manage a lot of topics for these companies and research institutes also. And we have a lot of funding options. So if you're interested, we have really excellent cooperation possibilities. And in the end, if you're planning to do any activity in Germany, and if you need help for this, and if for you there's one of the puzzle piece missing, if the support is missing for you, I can tell you that we can help you. We are more or less the puzzle piece for you to make it very easy to access the market, and we can help you. And if you're looking for production, if you're looking for funding, if you need a partner, if you would like to sell your products in the German market, we would really happy to help you. So call us, give us a call, write an email, any contact, we would be happy to help you. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Sandra, as well. I'll leave your slide up for just another second for your direct contact information.
Thank you.
I appreciate the overview of the landscape and how to access it. All right, well, at this point, we have concluded the 3 presentations. Thank you to the 3 ladies. Again, I've already gathered a few questions, so thank you for posting those. We're now going to do the open forum Q&A. All the speakers obviously will answer the questions, and as I said, just keep them coming. I already have a few, so I'm going to begin with the first one here. How does the market access challenge, for example, affect the development of orphan drugs? Perhaps a question for Maren. Thank you, Ron, for that question.
Yeah, thank you, Omar. So basically, it's affecting the development of an orphan to launch it in Germany in a positive way, because the so-called early benefit assessment for orphans is much easier than for normal drugs, to call that as a comparison. So you get funding and support to get easier access in the German market.
Thank you. As a follow-up question here, Maren, I'll keep you on the hotspot for a second. Could you give us maybe a quick market access launch checklist, if possible, because you did give us a nice overview in your detailed presentation. A market access checklist. Yeah, a checklist. I mean, it's a good question, and we sometimes get it from customers. For us, we understand like the market access readiness in a way that we need to see with the client what kind of resources are available, where in the for example market research or competitor analysis is a customer exactly, and what are necessary steps. I mean, this can be, as I said, very straightforward by calculating, do I have the necessary sales force to cover a market? But it can also really go to very nitty-gritty questions like, do I have the right packaging for the market? So it's difficult to say, here's a checklist, and if you tick all the boxes, you are set, because as we also heard earlier, the products are different. Is it a medicinal product? Is it an orphan? Is it an ATMP? So depending on the product and the client situation, the checklist could look a little bit different. However, I mean, there are big buckets, like I've shown on the roadmap, where you really need to make sure these are buckets you start pushing before you enter the market. I hope that helps a little bit to answer the question. Absolutely, thank you, thank you. Question here for Sandra. You mentioned, you talked about the clusters, and do they all have the same focus?
Yeah, thank you, Omar, for the question. They have different focus, so if you're interested, some of them have a strong focus, for example, the Munich cluster on personalized medicine. They all cover the life science, so some are more focused on medtech or biotech, and other on pharmaceuticals. So really the best overview on the topics they're dealing with you can find in our fact sheet. So you can see this now for the download in the toolbar on the right side, so feel free to download this to have the best overview of this.
Thank you, Sandra. Question here from Patrick. Are there funding resources available to partnering between a German and a non-EU company?
There are some options, but if you would like to have the best options, you really will need a physical presence in Germany. So I know there are some options to partnering with a non-Germany located company or research institute. So if you're interested in this detailed, keep in touch with me, and we will find out if there's anything we can do for you.
Thank you, Sandra. Here's a question for Sabine Sydow. You showed the biopharmaceutical development pipeline. Which areas are the predominant ones, according to you?
Okay, thank you. It's probably not a big surprise that oncology clinical development projects in biopharmaceuticals is #1. So approximately 1/3 of the clinical biopharmaceutical pipeline is based on oncology drugs under development, directly followed by the field of infection and immunology. So infection and immunology are more or less equal. And we also see additional indication areas. So for example, the respiratory and sensory organs, they are really coming up in the last years. So this is what we have observed. And of course also metabolism, CNS, hematology without the hematological oncology. These are also fields where there are active clinical development projects, but the top 3 are oncology, #1 with a big distance, followed by infection and immunology.
Thank you for clarifying that. Appreciate that. Another question here for Sandra, back to the clusters. Is it necessary to be a member of the clusters? I know that folks have probably been able to download it by now, but is it required to be a member of the cluster to benefit from their services?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So most of the clusters they don't have members like this to pay something and be a member of this and benefit of this. So they're interested in managing the assets on site, the local assets, and they are happy if you come to the events and if you are part of the clusters.
Thank you. And one more question related to funding. I got a question here. Do you need a physical presence in Germany to access funding? Are these funding programs you highlighted in your presentation?
The funding programs I highlighted, the Profit in Berlin, for example, or the SIM program from the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy, for these programs it's necessary to have a physical presence in Germany, yes.
Thank you. And again, you can, I'm sure you can answer, you know, touch base with, anyone can touch base with you about how to set up a physical presence in Germany as well, following the webinar. Let me turn back to Maren, actually. Would you recommend Germany as the first market in the launch sequence? I mean, you talked about challenges, but you also talked about the chances and the opportunities. Would you recommend it based on your opinion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for the question, Omar. It's a good one. And yeah, definitely I would recommend it because we see many countries in and outside the EU that use the German market for reference pricing, but also we hear a lot that if a drug is available in the German market, this is also a sign for quality and acceptance, and so it's good to have the product available in Germany.
Great, thank you. Another question here, this is for Sabine Sydow. You did show some impressive figures regarding the strengths of the medical biotechnology sector in Germany. Can you maybe briefly outline non-quantitative strengths as well, and perhaps any weaknesses?
Who is willing to talk about weaknesses? No, I'm kidding. I think I can. There are really a couple of strengths regarding the location Germany in total. So, for example, the one is regarding the number of clinical trials. So we are, as Germany, the clinical research site #2 worldwide. So again, #1 in Europe, #2 worldwide, following again the United States, which due to its size is of course #1. This is important because, as you all know, it's important to run the clinical studies in your country or in the country where you're planning to launch your product. So if you have a good network there with the KOLs and etc. So this is really an important issue. Another one is that we have a lot of specially skilled employees here in Germany, which is important, as I said when I showed the working places in medical biotechnology. So this is a high-tech industry, and we need really skilled and well-educated people, technicians, as well as people coming from academia. And I think we can really offer this here in Germany. And we have, and this is my last point here, although I probably could add quite some more, we do have very good basic research in Germany. We have an excellent academic landscape, very good world-class universities, as well as extra university research locations. So these are the strengths. And of course, we do have some weaknesses here as well. So for example, if you are going to run a clinical trial which needs some radiation examinations, we do have a little bit difficulties because the regulation regarding radiation, whenever accompanying radiation is needed in clinical trials, we do not yet have a sound framework conditions which are predictable or sufficiently predictable for the companies. So we are working on that. A lot of people are working on that from academia, from industry, from the patient side, and politics understood the issue, and we are working on that, but we are not there yet, I would say. We have no tax research promotion in Germany, which we would like to have because most of the OECD countries do offer it. And what is definitely missing in Germany is sufficient venture capital, especially for the small and young biotech companies.
Thank you for highlighting that as well. A quick follow-up question. Is getting access to the German market an open window for Europe, or I guess the European market? Maybe a question for Maren or for Sabine. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think this is for Maren, I would say.
Yeah, I take it. So basically, yeah, I would say yes. I mean, usually what we see and also what we recommend is that you start with Germany as a market just for the sheer size of it. I mean, it's a strong market and you get a good price in general. And then you follow on with the other big markets like France and UK.
Thank you. Great. I'm just waiting for any other questions at this point. We've addressed quite a few of them already, and really encourage the rest of the attendees to post them. But as you see, we have extensive information on the biotechnology sector in Germany from Sabine Sydow. We've highlighted market access, some of the challenges and some of the opportunities, thanks to Maren. And we've also highlighted some of the funding and R&D options in Germany. And again, if you need more information on how to set up a legal entity or operations in Germany, Germany Trade Invest can help, as well as Quintiles, of course, and VFA Bio for any other market information you need. I do encourage you to reach out to me. I do encourage you to reach out to our speakers if you've copied down their contact information. Again, here is our short link for our webinar landing page, GTAI, which is Germany Trade and Invest, so gtai.com/succeed in German healthcare. I got another question here for Maren. Do you foresee any changes to the German market access process in the near future? Thank you, Laura, for that question. Do you foresee any changes to the German market access process?
Yeah, it's a good question. It depends a little bit on which part of the German market access you're looking at. I mean, if we talk, for example, about national market access, we see that for the early benefit assessment, as of now, it is that you enter the German market and you have free pricing for the first 12 months in the market. And there are ongoing discussions that once you align on your market access price after negotiation, that your price will be reduced backwards if it will be reduced. So this has not yet happened, but it's in discussion. And yeah, if you ask me, I could foresee that. I mean, I don't know when it will take place, but there is a potential threat. Then also, if you look at the subnational level, so on the level of the payers, the statutory health insurances, we see constant development. So yeah, the German market is a very interesting one. Going back to the title of my talk, we see a lot of chances. We see also a lot of challenges. I hope that helps a little bit.
Thank you, Maren. I hope that answered Laura's question. Is it possible, as your question possibly for Sandra, is it possible for GTAI, Germany Trade Invest, to support companies from other European countries to find a German partner for an R&D project? Thank you, Leszek, for that question.
Yeah, thank you for this question also from my side. It is possible. So our main task is to help companies set up shop in Germany, but we know that in the life sciences, the first step into the market or into another country is also to have a partner to find someone who's interested in doing something together. And so we offering also partnering services for these companies. So if you're interested, I would be happy to help you. We do this in this kind that we send you, so we are German, you know this, and we like forms. So I would like to send you a form in this case, and you can fill in everything that's important for you for the partnering, and I will send this to my partners and clusters, and they know the assets, they know the companies and the research institutes that could benefit from partnering with the company you're with. So this is the thing we can do for you, and we have some interesting partnerships already established in Germany. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. It looks like we've actually addressed all the questions at this point. I'm happy to wait another minute or so in case there's one or two more questions. But I want to just take this opportunity right now again to thank my three speakers, Sabine, Maren, and Sandra. And again, here is my contact information in case you want to follow up directly with me. Can also put you in touch with the speakers, not a problem at all. And thank you, ladies. And at this point, I will go ahead and, for the sake of time, end the webinar and wish everyone a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful evening. So goodbye. Thank you.